Bonjour, comment ça va? Comme vous déjà savez que je m'appelle Dhananjay Dondial et je suis un professeur de français. As you know, I'm Dhananjay Dondial and I'm a French teacher. Alors aujourd'hui, on va étudier quelque chose qui est très important. Today we are going to study very important thing. Et ça c'est quoi? What is that? In English, we say I help you. Here you see I is the performer of an action. So the one who performs an action, we call him as subject. Help, that is the main action, we call it as verb. So this is verb, and you is the person for whom that action is done. So that is called object. So in English, you see the sequence is what? First we use subject, then verb, and then object. But if you translate it into Hindi, then how do you say this thing? In Hindi, मैं आपकी सहायता करता हूँ. So in Hindi, what do you find first? Subject. Then what do you find? आपकी. That is the object. And then सहायता करता हूँ. That is the verb. So you have been using both these languages so far, but you never ever thought about this difference between these two languages. That in English, the sequence is subject, verb, and object. But in Hindi, the sequence is subject, object, and verb. And right now we are interested in learning what is the system of French. In French, whether they use, to subject they say sujet, to verb they say verbe, they add this extra e, don't think as if I have committed a mistake. And to object they say objet. So we wonder whether they use sujet, verbe, and objet, that is the English pattern, or they use sujet, objet, or verb, that is the Hindi pattern. What do you think? Which one they use? Well, they use both English and Hindi pattern. Now we have another question. When do they use English pattern? When do they use Hindi pattern? Do they follow certain rules, or they use both of them in a random way? No, they use certain rules. What are those rules? They use this English pattern, sujet, verb, and object, when the object is a noun. So they will use English pattern. But when the object is a pronoun, they will use Hindi pattern. To understand it better, I'll give you one example. For example, I help John. Here, I is subject, help is verb, John is object. And you see John, that is the object, which is noun. Here I help him. So here him is the object, but it is a pronoun. Rest of the things are same in both the sentences. What makes the difference between these sentences is noun, object, and here is pronoun. In Hindi or in English, it hardly matters if the object is a noun or pronoun. But in French, it does make a great difference. What is that? Now you see, let us try to do this. I help John. What is I? That is je in French. What is help? Aider. It is ER category word. I have already taught you. ER is the ending part. Aid, that is the stem part. Stem part will remain same. ER will be replaced by E. If the subject is je. So we are using sujet, that is je. Then we use verb, that is aid, and then we use object, that is John. To John they say Jean. The spellings are like this: Jean. So je aide Jean. We have used English pattern: subject, verb, and object. But you see, this sentence is not complete. We have to memorize the previous rules which we have done so far. One of them is what? If a word ends in a vowel and the next word begins with a vowel, in that case the first vowel is usually replaced by an apostrophe. Usually, not all the time. So here it will be replaced by an apostrophe, and then both the words will be written and spoken together. So you will write them together, speak them together. The last E is always mute, so you will just read this much: j'aide Jean. So I help Jean. How will you say it in French? J'aide Jean. How? J'aide Jean. I hope you have understood it. Okay, very good. Now let us do the second one. I help him. here the object is him, which is a pronoun. If the object is pronoun, then they follow Hindi pattern. That is sujet, that is je, and then objet. Here I want to tell you one thing. We pronounce it as le because in French last e is mute. So le has got three meanings. One meaning is the, second meaning is it, and third meaning is him. So you can take whichever meaning you want to have out of these three at any point of time. Right now we want to, take this meaning him out of this log, so it's okay. So je, that is the subject, and then object is him, for which we will write le. So we have written le. So sujet, object, and then verb. That is aide, aide. Er will be replaced by e because the subject is je. But at the same time, you see here, don't forget that rule. If a word ends in a vowel, next begins with a vowel. In that case, the first vowel is replaced by an apostrophe. Both the words will be written and spoken together. So finally, how, last is mute, last is mute. So how do you read it? Je l'aide. Je l'aide. So see, the great difference, is there in French language when the object is a noun or a pronoun. I can give you one more example. For example, okay, you see, suppose he teaches us French daily. So how shall you speak this sentence in French? You see, he, that is subject. That is subject, teaches. Verb, us, that is object, they are also object. But this is the main object. And here this object is pronoun, us. Okay. So, nous means we, and nous also stands for us. Okay. So, what is he? Il. Because the object is a pronoun, so we will follow Hindi pattern. That means subject, then object. And that is us. For us, we will write nous. So this is nous. Il, nous. So we have used subject, then object, then comes verb. That is teach. For this, in French, we say enseigner. How? Enseigner. That means to teach. So this is er ending verb that we have already done. So er will be replaced by what? E if the subject is il. For that you can see the table in my previous videos if you have forgotten. But I know you have not forgotten. You are doing it continuously. So il, nous, enseigner, and what? French. That is le français. Why here I wrote F capital and here small? It is because in English, French, Spanish, they are the proper nouns. And in English, proper nouns, they begin with the first letter capital. But in French, the languages are not considered as proper noun. They are considered as a common noun. Therefore, the first letter is not written with the capital. Alright, so that's why le français. And daily, for that, they say tous les jours. Tous les jours. The literal meaning is all the days, but the sense is daily. Now you know this is a consonant and this is a vowel. I have already taught you a rule. If a word ends in a consonant, next begins with a vowel. In that case, both the words are usually pronounced together. So this S is coming between U and E, which are the vowels. S, when comes in between vowel, it gives Z sound. Therefore, you will read it as nu because OU gives U sound. So altogether it is nu, Z, on, nu, zon, because EN gives on sound. I have taught you rules of phonetics. Please see that part. Nous enseignons. Nous enseignons. Nous enseignons. Last is GN gives a near sound. So, il nous enseigne le français tous les jours. Il nous enseigne le français tous les jours. So, this is the sequence. Like, you want to say, they here the French teacher attentively they hear the French teacher attentively. So what is they? Il, and then they hear the French teacher. Here, French teacher, this is the object, and teacher is a noun. So object is a noun. When the object is noun, so it follows English pattern. So English pattern is what? Subject and then verb. Verb is here. For that, we have already done, this is entendre, RE category verb. But if the subject is il, so RE will be replaced by ENT. That's what I have already taught you. Where ENT will be mute always. So il entend, you read up to here, entendre. The French teacher. So Spanish, French pattern is what? The teacher of French. They will say it like this. Le professeur de français. Ils entendent le professeur de français. Why le professeur de français? Because Spanish, French pattern is opposite to English. In English we say John's brother. So French pattern will be the brother of John. In English we will say French class. So French pattern is what? The class of French. So first of all you will understand the system of that language and then you will give the words to that system. So like this. The professor of French. That is the pattern, that is the system, and then you give French words. Le professeur de français. Got it? And then attentively. That is an adverb. So you can say attentivement. Attentivement. So finally, il entend le professeur de français attentivement. Il entend le professeur de français attentivement. Ok? Alors, c'est tout, c'est assez pour aujourd'hui. That's all, that is enough for today. Et si vous avez aimé le vidéo, alors vous pouvez l'abonner, vous pouvez le partager avec les autres personnes. If you have really liked the video, you can share it, you can like it, you can share it. If you have got some doubts, you can share your doubts through comment box. Till then, bye bye, thank you very much, au revoir.